a really long weekend, you guys. We've been down here for a couple of shows, and it's been so hot in there. It rained and cooled everything down because yesterday was pretty hot, but man, it got really hot inside that bar, and I'm wearing my fake hair and, you know, adding to the heat on my neck. And I don't know if you can hear them in there. It's about 10 after 10. They play until 11, and I just had to come outside and just cool off. But tonight, their show, oh my gosh, probably the best show I've heard them do in all the time they've been together. It's really fun. Now that seems a little weird. Official beer of NAU Athletics. Unlike beer is not allowed on campus except in certain places. That cracks me up. Of course, they had to include this. 21 means 21. Okay, whatever. Hey you guys, it is Wednesday, and I'm out for a walk. I haven't gone for a walk in so long. I've been doing bar 3. It's a loud dog barking there. Since I started doing bar 3 and stopped doing races, I just have not gotten out for walks, and I just realized that I've put on 11 pounds, and yeah, I just figured I mean, I'm still like 20 pounds down from what I had lost before, but yeah, because I had lost 30, then I gained 10 on purpose, and so I'm up 11 from that, and so I just figured I need to get out and start moving. I've got Monica with me. You can probably hear her weird little urchin noises, but she's chubby too, so I figure why not just take her with me, and it's beautiful, it's summertime, I mean, why not? So anyway, yeah, now you know, I've never really walked in my new neighborhood, a little bit, a few times, but not a lot, so I'm gonna get to know my neighborhood. Okay, correction, I was just thinking about that. I had a range that I wanted to stay in, that a 5-pound range, and I'm actually up 8 pounds from the highest part of that range that I had been really good about staying in for a long time. But I have been, gosh, the last week especially, eating a lot of meat, just being in situations where we've been, you know, getting together with people who were serving that, and just kind of throwing caution to the wind. And then also eating a lot of sugar, you know. We just had a bunch of candy and crap around the house, and yeah, I need to knock that off. And drinking more alcohol than usual. Not, you know, like going to, John's been having all these shows, and then I'll be out at a show and drink a couple beers, and every can of beer adds up, huh? So there you go. I have my Fitbit on. I haven't worn that in a really long time. I got up this morning and charged it, and I'm just not going to allow this thing to get out of control. Super pretty walking out here in the forest. That's really close to my house, but I'm looking at the sky. We're probably going to get another hard rain today, which is great, actually. Hey guys, so you have to hear Monica, what her bark sounds like, which is not really a bark. She just sounds like an alien. She sees some dogs right now and hears them. Hey guys, boy, we were in fire season and fires popping up all around and everything. And then the monsoon decided to come, and now Flagstaff has been experiencing flooding. So apparently yesterday there was a Prius that was parked somewhere, and it got carried away by waters and was spinning around in the water and then hitting a bunch of parked cars on the side and stuff like that. So it's been absolutely crazy. My street was just like a river yesterday. But yeah, so fire season is officially over. Because we've had all this rain, I had totally forgotten about this, but John had suggested that we need to start looking for mushrooms, because this is like prime mushroom gathering time when you have cool temperatures. And it did drop. I mean, last week the thermometer on my porch read 100, which is just insane here in Flag. But anyway, it's been in the 70s since it started raining, and so that's perfect. And also a lot of moisture is perfect for mushrooms. And there are two kind of mushrooms that I know how to identify, that John and I both know how to identify. One is the lobster mushroom, and the other is called a bolete, which is like a porcini. And lobster mushrooms are really easy to find, but I just am not terribly crazy about them. They taste like seafood. Part of the reason why they're called lobster, but mostly because they're bright orange, like a cooked lobster. Anyway, but I don't like the texture. It's kind of gritty. Yeah. But what I love are the boletes, which are in the porcini family. And the last time we had a bumper crop of those, which was many years ago, I, got a bunch of them and just dehydrated them, and then you rehydrate them and put them in different things. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I have a stuffing recipe that I make with those, and I used up the last of my boletes, my dehydrated boletes, a couple of years ago. And so if we get a bumper crop year, I'm telling you, I'm going to harvest as many as I can, and I will run my dehydrator until it breaks. Trying those things out, because it's not a sure thing to get them every year. So all that to say, I am on my way over to the forest area that was behind my old house, where we used to hunt mushrooms. And most people don't know that there are mushrooms there. They go up on the mountain, and they have different places where they go. And we've got this little plot of land that's in behind a residential area, and nobody ever goes mushroom hunting over there except us. So I'm going to go check what I'm checking for. I mean, if I actually see some, I will go ahead and harvest them. I have a bag. But if it's a good year, we need to go back with mini bags. So what I'm actually looking for are the conditions that would be right for those mushrooms, the bolete mushrooms, to be growing. So first of all, I'm going to be looking for lots of poisonous mushrooms. If I find lots of poisonous mushrooms, then I know that the boletes, that the environment is also good for the bolete mushrooms. But last year we went to that area and we didn't even see poisonous ones. So, there's not going to be any others there. The other thing I'll be looking for is how the ground feels under my feet. So walking on the pine needles, if it feels really firm, then it's not ready yet. If it's feeling kind of squishy underfoot, especially if it hasn't rained, although it did rain today. If it's feeling like when I walk on it, if it feels a little spongy, that's what it is. It's not really squishy. It's not wet. But if it feels spongy, then that's the right kind of soil condition for that. And then you have to just look for little tiny bumps underneath the pine needle, or yeah, like the pine needle makes a tiny, the pine needle bed has a little bump. And so then when you see that, you dig under that and hope that there's a good mushroom there. If the mushroom comes up above the pine needles, chances are it is either green or yellow, which means that it's old and it's not good, or it's going to have worms, or you could dig under there and just find that a squirrel already got it. And so that's the thing. You have to beat the squirrels, beat the worms, and just find them. You want to find them because they get this big. Like the cap of these things gets this big and this thick. Yeah, it's crazy. But by the time they're that big, they're not good anymore. So what you're really looking for is something where the cap is about maybe, like maybe like the size of a softball, half a softball. So they're still thick, but and then the stem is literally like big around. So, oh, and this morning we had we actually had 3 trees cut down in our front yard. I will show you a little clip of one of the trees coming down. But there was one tree that's a spruce. My parents planted it 20 years ago to be like a little Christmas tree in front, but it got like 30 feet high, so it's not much of a Christmas tree. So we took that one down. Cannot believe how much it opened up the yard, and we're gonna have so much morning sunlight. It'll be really interesting to see tomorrow how much comes in. Then another one we had taken down because it was really close to the driveway, and it also has a warped trunk, or had, it's gone now. And so we had that one taken out, and all of a sudden, as soon as that thing came down, there's all this light coming into my dining room. I'm so excited about the possibilities of growing plants, because all those plants that I started growing, several of them have died. Mostly because I got ones that like low light, but because they like low light, they also need a lot of humidity. They're rainforest plants, and we have like 0 humidity. So I've been running a humidifier for them, but they're just not looking good. So all this light is coming in. So I'm super excited about that, and I'll show you, what it looks like. They're not quite done. It started raining on them, so they didn't get to finish taking out. They took out 2 stumps. They're taking out another one from the Christmas tree. They're taking that stump out, and then there's just a stump in the backyard that needs to come out that they're gonna do. So, but I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like. Okay, so I'm walking on this blanket of pine needles, and it is definitely spongy. So that's good. No sign of toxic mushrooms yet, though. Okay, so the more I'm walking, the less spongy the ground is, and I don't see any other mushrooms. So I'm thinking that maybe this last week of rain is going to be the thing that spurs on the beginning of mushrooms growing. But I'm walking over by this decaying tree trunk that's directly behind our old house, and usually there's something there. Lobster mushrooms anyway, so we'll see. So hey, you guys, I just thought about something I was going to tell you, that we're no longer in fire season, but something is happening right now in Flagstaff that is a result of a fire that happened 2 years ago. I think you guys probably, those of you who have been with me for a while might remember this. So where the whole top the basin of the mountain was on fire, and there were those tankers, flying overhead all the time, and Yeah, it was the one that started. We saw it when we were leaving church. Do you guys remember that? We came outside and we saw this fire. So anyway, all this to say that fire burned a lot of the landscape. And then what is left is what they call a burn scar. And so that means that all this stuff where there would have been grasses and twigs and trees and small, underbrush, all that kind of stuff that slows water down, all of that gets burned. And so now you're just left with like a scar on the landscape, which eventually will grow back, but it takes a while. So what's been happening, we've been getting these huge rains every afternoon this whole week, and that area below the burn scar in Flagstaff is getting flooded. Same thing happened when we had a big fire back in 2011 that was the whole backside of the mountain was on fire. And then that next summer, there were horrible floods and even a little girl who was swept away in floodwaters and killed. So yeah, you get past the fire and you think that was the worst part. But then there's what happens with the flooding afterwards. So it doesn't happen everywhere all over Arizona, that kind of thing, but particularly with the mountain and, water rushing downhill, yeah, it causes problems. Look what happened today. I was babysitting, so I didn't see hail like this where I was, but this is our back porch.
Is it gonna kill? Is it gonna kill your flower?
Maybe. Well, probably not. Look at that. I mean, that might as well fill an ice test. Look at that. Oh my gosh.
That's bigger than any peas.
Absolutely. It's like lima bean size.
Ooh, there's a pile of it there.
That's a huge pile. Oh my gosh.
All the pots have it in there?
Yeah. No, it won't kill them. It'll... I don't know what it'll do. I hope not. Hope it did. Oh my gosh, did it decimate my garden? Guys, look what it did. It decimated my garden. That was the summer squash that we're just getting going. Okay, the strawberries look like they're gonna be fine. No. Oh no, my tomato. Look what happened. Actually, I will say, to look on the bright side, oh crap, that brandy wine has like nothing left on it. But I will say that when a hailstorm happens early in the season, the tomatoes tend to recover. The plants tend to recover. If it happens later in the summer, like after the plants are super established, then, oh my gosh, I'm so depressed. I'm so depressed. You guys, I am too busy. I have said yes to too many things. But I'm happy. I'm happy about them. I just have this panicked feeling that I'm going to forget something. But yeah, here we are, the end of July. And what do I have coming up? Okay, so in August, John has 2 shows. I don't have to go to every show he does, although I do run the merchandise table, so it's nice to be able to do that. But I'm probably, well, there's one definitely I'm not going to be able to go to. Okay, so that art show that my mom and I are going to do is going to be in August. It's the same weekend as one of the shows. So I probably won't go to that show of John's because I know how exhausted I am after we do the art show every year. So that's coming up. I have finished 24 baskets. My goal was to have 25, so I have enough time to finish a small one. And then a friend of mine from church, she's a young friend, like she's young enough to be my kid. But she and I have just become friends. We've gotten together. She taught me how to make goat's milk soap. She raises goats, and so she gives me the milk sometimes. And then anyway, we've just kind of become friends. And she is pregnant, and so I'm throwing a baby shower for her. That is also going to be in August. the women's retreat that I'm on the board for, that's coming up, and we're having a board meeting that I agreed to host at my house this weekend. And then I'm on the board for the Retiree Association with the university, and I'm in charge of activities, and we have a barbecue in September, and then I host these monthly webinars. And then I'm doing 2 Bible studies with one with my niece. We've been doing that for a couple months now. And then there's this girl, Sarah, who I was doing a Bible study with before the pandemic. She and I were meeting once a week. We would go to a restaurant and we would sit and do this little Bible study thing together. And then we got Diana, and so that kind of put our Bible study on hold until I was just thinking, let me just kind of get a grip here with raising a baby. And next thing you know, we were in a pandemic, and I literally have not seen Sarah since before the pandemic. We've texted, but have not seen her. So we're starting tonight. So anyway, when I was making up the invitation, the Evite invitation for the baby shower, and I was just like, wait, do I have something that is conflicting with this event? I didn't want to send it before I could really clearly think about the fact that yes, we can have the baby shower on this date. It's fine. I'm just not used to having. I've been retired for 3.5 years now, so I'm just not used to having a lot of stuff going on, and I'm kind of afraid of mixing up my dates. Do you guys do that? Those of you who are retired, do you guys do that? Or maybe those of you who aren't retired do it as well, but maybe I'm just too busy. So if I can get past September, I mean, of course I will, but the beginning of October, actually, because that's when the women's retreat is. If I can get past that stuff, then things will be good. But I'm excited about all of it. It's not like I'm just kind of trying to endure it. I'm super excited about all of it. I'm just not used to having this much stuff going on at once. So hey guys, we decided to go downtown on a Wednesday night. We're gonna go meet some friends. We just stopped at Flagstaff Brewing Company and had a hamburger. Well, each of us had a hamburger. The last time we were here was right as things started to open up after COVID. I think it was maybe May of 2020. We came here with Diana in a stroller. I remember that. She was teeny. And anyway, there are a lot of people out. Excited to see that. No masks. I mean, some people. We're seeing some people who are. But a coworker of John's and his wife who moved here from Minnesota during the pandemic are all about Flagstaff and all the stuff that there's to do. Like, this is an alley behind us. That's where we just ate. And let me show you. On Wednesday nights, they have an extension of the Sunday farmers market. They have like a mini version of the farmers market, and so we came down. It's not really a farmers market. There are a few places that are selling vegetables, but yeah, that's a new restaurant that just opened up, a patio restaurant. But yeah, I'm so excited to see people out and about and doing things, and we're gonna go find John's friends, and it looked like they were right next to a candy shop we like, so I think we're gonna stop and get something sweet to eat. So we just left the downtown market. We did make one purchase other than our dinner. First of all, we stopped at this one booth that had pasta and sauces, and we got this mac and cheese. This is by the Sonoran Pasta Company. This mac and cheese has like spicy stuff in it, so like habaneros and stuff like that. So and then they also had this fresh pasta, and what is it called? A muffaladia? I don't know what it is. But anyway, here. That's what it looks like. It's kind of soft because it's fresh pasta. So we thought, oh, that'd be nice.